joke or something.
I want this. Time. That's the lawyer sitting over there, I think, in blue help us.
No, I'm good, thanks.
No, tell them no. I'm here.
Is that Linda? Hi, is that Linda? That's right now. Wait. You're supposed to sit front, Ronnie. You must sit front.
Call the meeting to order.
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's okay.
Seifert? Pearsall? Hutton? Here. Mendoza?
Here.
McDonald?
Here.
Leahy? Here. Bradshaw? Goldberg? Is here.
Barb signed it first, anyway. Barb, you signed it first?
I didn't sign in it since I was on the agenda, but I didn't know.
Okay. Go ahead. Barb. Go ahead, Barb.
I might take a little bit, so. All right, good evening. A month ago, I was here offering help if anybody wanted it to try to reach out to different people, different individuals, not only our political people, but others that just might help our village of Albany come back to be what I remember it as. I know a lot of you sitting here tonight, many of you, raise your hands if you've lived here your whole life. See? It's a great place to live. How many of you have been here 20 years or more? So you all know all the things that Albany used to be that we're not anymore. I'm sad to see that our community has turned into basically a stagnant position. And I don't mean that cruelly, it's just the way it's gone. We have Miss Flame and Miss Spark. And with that, look at all the little boys, the little girls. The boys escorted the little ones up on the stage, the little Miss Spark candidates, and had a great time. It was so wonderful. The whole day was filled with excitement. 3-on-3 basketball, firefighter shootouts, trying to get other communities to come here, which we had Cordova, we'd have a lot of times Fort Byron, we'd get Fulton to come down here. And then we had our Oktoberfest, carving pumpkins that we get from usually McGinnis, carve the pumpkins up, light them all up, have a cookout with hot dogs and marshmallows and hot chocolate, everything in the park, because we did things. And what was also great about our Miss Flame and Spark event was our Lions Club was very active, and they cooked chicken. We had chicken under the big tent, and then we had our fireworks that night. Everything that made us, aware of what we have here as, to me, a little gold mine. I wrote a little saying for Albany when my husband Harvey, who's been gone 21 years now, he had been the chamber president for 5 years, And we wanted to put welcome signs out. So we needed a little saying. So I wrote the saying, you know, on the banks of the Mississippi where eagles soar. I guess it's still being used, and I didn't even know that, but I guess it really is. But my memory of all the years, 30 years that we were living on Epson Road, I love our community, and I still do. And that's why when I married David, after being widowed twice, he's from Iowa City, and I said, you know what? I don't want to move down to the Quad Cities like I used to think I wanted to do. I want to move back to Albany because that was my home for 30 years. And I love it here. We can do and we can be so much. So, how are we going to do this? Well, number one, coming in tonight, it would be wonderful if everyone that serves on this board, the mayor and everyone else would say, good evening. How are we going to solve or make life a little bit better tonight in our village of Albany? Not talking to each other, not dirty looks, not silly things that are going to be posted later on because someone said this or someone said that. We can't do that anymore. Do all of you want to see us come back out of the stagnant stage and be a community again? Do you? It takes all of us. And everyone sitting up here right now, they must love this town too, because they wouldn't go through everything they have to go through. Serving, it's not easy. And it's always decisions. But making cohesive decisions is a lot better than always finding a fault in a decision that is made. It doesn't have to be like that. Differences of opinion, it's healthy. I have a healthy thing to talk about that I'm so proud of. Our new little neighbor girl that lives in the McGrath's house on Church Street puts her little boy on a bus every day for preschool.
Barb, just to let you know, you do have a 3-minute we looked up to make sure that
Even
you
for
still-
on this thing, okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry. No, I just want, yeah, we were looking at it to make sure, so,
Only invited speakers like MDS and this.
yeah.
Okay, all right, so anyway.
Sorry.
All right, I want to do what I call a whole town meeting. Good old town meeting, and we may have to use the hall over at the Legion or wherever, but I want it standing room only. I've approached a man named Jerry Foster, and what he does is he inspires, he renews, and we all enjoy it. And it all is a method that's been put together, and so I'm asking permission to have this town hall meeting and to invite Jerry to be here with us and talk about improving our neighborhoods and our communities. So I guess the board has to decide whether you want to proceed with that, and if you do, I'd really like to contact him and get a time set up when we can do that. So,
Well, I guess my question is, can we all be at this meeting?
yes,
Well,
everyone.
we'll have to call them. If you're gonna,
So
if
we're
you're gonna
gonna-
attend, you can't discuss public business. You can be in the same place.
Okay.
Other things. that-
It's not like you're meeting privately, it's your
You
meeting
can't
with
start asking
everyone.
questions and conduct a business meeting, unless you call it as a meeting.
But we have to call it?
Residents.
I mean, Barb can't just call it?
Yes, well, it's just like, it'd be a special meeting, or it's an adjourned meeting, but we have to have a meeting, you're all there, it's a meeting. They're gonna call it business. Otherwise, you
So
guys.
is everybody here interested in bringing 10 more of your buddies, your friends, your neighbors? Maybe you haven't talked to them for a while, it's a good time to do that. And bring them to a meeting like this where everyone can be heard and we can have us a good old time again. And we can be Albany that used to be Albany again. We really can. There's lots of things we can do. So I'm probably out of time, so I have to sit down. Okay, sorry. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Barb.
you.
Thanks for having me again, everybody. Good to be here again. We're working on 3 items with you guys right now, or maybe more. more, depending on how you look at it. We'll start with the boat ramp. I came here last week and kind of gave you guys the not so good news as to what we felt the bids would come in at compared to the grant that you got. My update at that point was we're trying to get hold of DNR to figure out what our options are. It took us, we went through 2 weeks without the DNR giving us a call back, so unfortunately I don't have any sort of concrete update to this. Other than the fact that, now it's definitely more than like a month-long delay. It's going to be more than that if we do proceed forward. We are still looking at other funding options for you to make up that delta, but I don't have a good answer for you at this point. So the bad news for that is it's at least delayed for a little while longer.
We have a meeting next week. What are the chances you'll know anything by
I'm
then?
hoping to know a little bit more, at least a little bit more by then. It's all kind of depending on us being able to discuss this through with the DNR.
Do we have to decide tonight, or can we wait till next week?
You can wait. We can move forward with bidding if you want to, and like I said last time, our opinion is that the bids are going to be higher than what was estimated 3 years ago, just based on all the factors I discussed last time. We can go through that process if you would like to see what that number actually works out to be.
Was it 3 years ago?
Maybe 2 years ago.
It was only a couple.
It's been long enough that it's changed.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, there's a number of factors
Yeah.
that drove it up. That's kind of what it's for, I guess. So, if you ask my opinion, I would say to hold off again until we try to get some more answers for you, but you don't have to. You can.
I'd like a more concrete number, or at least next week.
Yep. I'll see you all next week. Number 2 is the facilities report for the sanitary study. That is being wrapped up real shortly here. The goal right now is to sometime in the last week or 2 of October to sit down with Jack and Nick to kind of go over the options that study resulted in, and then bring it to the full village board in the first meeting in November. Not a whole lot of updates there, but I wanted to make sure you guys were all updated on that. And Jack, let me know if you're not available anytime last week or 2 of October, and I'll reach out to Nick to try to come up with a time.
Okay.
And then the last update I had is way back in the end of May, beginning of June, we applied for grant funding from IDOT on 4 different projects in town. They had expected to make a decision within a month or so. However, they got 2,000 and some requests for over $5 billion that they were only giving away $200 million for. So I wasn't holding my breath too harshly on that. However, we found out last week that Albany was awarded 2 of their 4 projects, totaling $580,000.
Now, what do you guys think of that? Come on, that is.
So the first project that got funded was the study and design to update the streetscape design for downtown.
Great.
That's the first one. That's expected to be a years-long process, so that's why we could only apply for the design part of that. The idea, hopefully, if we get started real soon on that, we can be in line to apply for ITEP funding that can start to fund some of the construction for that. That ITEP funding, the next scheduled funding application for that's going to be the end of next year, or the end of the summer next year. So hopefully we can get far enough along in our engineering on that to be able to apply for the funding, which would put hopefully start of some construction at least for whatever we decide for the downtown area in 27 or so. That's a pretty aggressive timeline, and it requires IDOT to move quickly, requires us to move quickly, everything else. We can't really figure out what the next steps are going to be until October 27th. That's when IDOT is putting on a webinar to go over procedural requirements for this funding. everybody's welcome to dial into that. We do need at least one representative from Albany there. If none of you guys can make that,
Anybody's gonna do it.
okay. I will make sure somebody from our office does it. I'm out of town for a training that day, so I can't do it, but I will make sure we do have to have somebody sign in for Albany to make sure we're counted as attendance credit for that. So if you need me to get somebody from MSA to sign this in as under Albany, I will do that.
October 27th, you said?
October 17th.
17th.
Yep. I hope I said 17th, did I say 27th?
No,
I
you
wrote
said
it
27th, you said 27th.
I'm sorry, it's the 17th.
It's the 17th.
Yep, 17th. Sorry about that.
I was like, I can do it on the 27th, but I can't do it on the
He's
17th.
going.
Is it the
Next plan will
27th?
be nominated.
17th.
Okay, excellent. That'd be perfect.
Yep.
And we're gonna have a team of MSA people on there too.
Okay.
I'm just personally, I'm not available that day. The other project we got awarded for was $150,000 in design fees for a number of resurfacing projects in town, mainly Church Street. When we went through the projects that Aaron and the operations or the public works director at that point, there was a number of streets in town that needed to be resurfaced, obviously. We had to split those out from the ones that could be funded all the way through construction and the ones that couldn't. The main difference being the ones that have sidewalk and sidewalk crossings through there is going to be a much longer process because that has to go through the ADA approvals. It's got more in the way environmental. There's possible right-of-way or easement acquisition needs because of that kind of stuff we found out historically. So we got funded for essentially the resurfacing projects in town for the design of that in the areas that would need ADA crossings. So that's what the other project is, and that was for $150,000. So total awarded to Albany was like $580,000.
Awesome, thank you.
Any questions on that?
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
Okay. My next step for that, I think, is obviously we have the October 17th meeting. Is it 17th?
Yes, you did.
And we'll start to put together at least a scope for an initial contract for that as well, just to make sure we can hit the ground running right after that meeting. Obviously, we're going to sit down with you, Jack, and Nick, and maybe Aaron, to kind of make sure we're all on the same page on that. I don't want to just bring you guys a contract and say, you're signed. I want to make sure that everybody knows what we're going to be doing and all that money. So, anything else?
Bless
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know what it is.
That's a straw poll we did last time, right? Do we remember how much it was?
Barb?
How much did we say?
20, we say. 22.
Why do I have 30 in my?
It was like 22.
Anybody wrote it down?
Oh,
You can put it to exceed
25,000.
Have a motion by Hutter to purchase reclosure control panel not to exceed 25,000. Do I have a second?
McDonald,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Motion carried. All right.
Oh, I think you have to go to rules first. Yeah, you're gonna do red touch for trustees. Yeah, I don't think you
You understand that?
Number two, we're gonna put on hold for a while.
Thank
Both
you.
Jason already talked on grant for both docks. Jason talked on cell phones are gonna be put on hold. Discuss appointment, open.
So you're the one who put something, is there a resignation already approved? Is there a vacancy?
There's a vacancy.
We didn't say anything about it.
It just was turned in, so we.
Oh, well, you first have to put it on there to approve. And then I can send a little quick thing that lists it out. The only one that can put anybody into nomination is the president. And then if you vote as a majority vote, you approve it, then that's the person. It's not approved for case. The second one is, then there's rules about after you have so many, then it's whoever you appoint is a temporary secretary.
Okay.
Send that to you.
So he needs,
So first resignation, you don't have vacancy.
okay.
But you can do the same meeting, the next meeting, if you vote on it and have a vacancy, then you can.
Then we can go to bring somebody on. Okay.
Both have to be legitimate.
Okay,
I'd like to talk to all the trustees first.
that's fine.
Do you want to do that at the end of this meeting, or? Okay.
no, we'll have to do it next meeting.
But you want to make sure that both actions are on the meeting, resignation and
Clerk?
Just approving September 7th and September 2nd regular meetings. How do you want it to?
Back to this appointing somebody. Can we talk about that in closed session tonight?
Can't talk about that in closed session.
At all?
Right.
Okay,
I don't think it is, it's not an employee issue.
okay.
I can double check that.
So we just talk about it later tonight then?
Well, you can talk about it, she just can't.
I have a motion by Mendoza to approve September 2nd's regular meeting minutes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
I have a motion by Mendoza to approve September 17th regular meeting minutes. Second.
I'll second.
McDonald,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
Mendoza.
Yes.
Carried. Building permit. Nothing for finance. Police.
Yes, I would like to hire a police chief.
Fantastic.
Reset one.
Hmm?
We finally reset.
Yes, we have background checks, everything's good. I gave you guys his resume. What's your thoughts?
Let's do it. Awesome.
This is Jason Frank right here.
What do we need to do?
So we gotta go to closed session to speak about it, or
It's up to you, I don't have to.
No, we can just vote.
But you have to have a salary.
we got it.
Oh, start date.
Start date.
We got the start date, he'd like to start on, well, hire date today and start 10/21/25.
10/21?
Yes.
Have a motion by,
Only thing we gotta discuss.
Got to discuss the salary.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait to do this one until after.
That's all I got.
street sellers, sidewalk.
Aaron?
Oh, I'm sorry. The only thing I had was I had a gentleman contact me that lives out, toward the end of Sycamore Street. He owns that barn and that silo out there as you're going out the end of that toward.
Yeah.
Yeah. He contacted me and I passed it on to Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a dedication letter, a dedication of right of way. It basically says, how do you break that down? Albany, used to basically.
It's not a right of way, it's a street.
Okay, and we do not have to maintain.
Do not have to
because
improve.
it's not been improved.
Once it's improved, then you're required to maintain.
Okay.
Now, you have streets out here.
Yeah.
Never built, you don't have to build.
So he's not looking to have us do anything to it at this point. He just wants to know if anybody in the board would be opposed to putting up a private or a dead-end private property sign out there, because he's getting a lot of people out there on four-wheelers is what he asked me.
Can you put it?
So I was.
Well, you have, the board have to vote on putting up the sign, or I think you used to have a traffic commission, I don't know if that was you or not, that you had, which you probably had appointed for a long time, that made a determination about signs, so best thing to put on next meeting.
Okay.
We put the sign on.
I couldn't hear, can you repeat that?
Yeah, if everybody agrees, the board should could agree to the posting of the sign, need to know what it should say, and et cetera.
I mean, we have signs that say no ATVs. I mean, that's the biggest issue, but he might want it to say dead end.
Yeah, I think he was willing to put the sign up himself. So I mean, I just figured he wanted me to bring it to the table, so.
You said you wording,
Yeah.
approve that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Board has to approve it.
On the agenda.
Thank you. That's all I had.
Cemetery parks.
Well, the first one, the docks, there's nobody here to ask, so I'll put that in somebody's ear though, that eventually those have to come out. It's usually in October.
He was, I was told they were gonna leave until like November 1st.
We do have a
Fishing tournament
fishing tournament.
Do you know when?
last week.
No, it's on the calendar.
That's okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure it's on
The
somebody's
18th
radar.
or the 25th. It's one of the.
October though.
Yeah.
Now, does somebody have to get wet to take them out too, because they do to put them in?
No.
Oh, okay, because it's like, that water's gonna be getting cold.
Eventually.
The next one is the Christmas lights at the park and the snowflakes on the poles. Once again, there's nobody here to answer that. Hire a billing clerk. I had somebody approach me twice now that she's been here. She's applied and had 2 different interviews. And she's ready to start. So I don't know what we're doing or not doing, or
I know we got like 8 of them today.
today?
Yeah.
On Indeed.
Oh, okay. So, but why aren't we considering the people that have, I mean, she told
Can't
me,
answer that.
huh?
I can't answer that.
Okay. Well, like I said, I know she qualifies, matter of fact, she's more than qualified, but she's just looking for something part-time, so I think it'd be ideal. She'd be an asset to us, you know? So yeah, I guess I'll talk to somebody about that soon. And then my other one is the cemetery cleanup. You know, we discuss this every year on what dates it's really supposed to be cleaned up. Is it supposed to be done during those 14 days, or is it supposed to be done afterwards? I don't know. And at this point, I'd just like to announce that I will be cleaning it on Monday, October 13th, So if you have anything on there that you want to save, please take it off before the 13th, and you can put it back on the 14th. So I'll see, I don't know if the bills have gone out, but like I said, I will get it taken care of on October 13th, if anybody asks.
Bills just went out today, Teresa.
Okay.
What time will you do that?
I don't know. Probably in the morning, just to get it over with. I'll probably be there by 8.
And then, so you just clean up, take everything off and get rid of it, or what do you do?
Yes. Yep.
I'll happily help you.
Well, if you want to, that's fine. If I can do it, it literally takes 3 of us 40 minutes. So I'm pretty sure I can probably get it in an hour and a half, so.
Well, just remember, this is what we're all about here. You know, you are the head of that committee, but it doesn't mean you have to do it all.
Or we can only talk to you 10 o'clock.
Well, like I said, I just figured it'd be easier for me to do. That's the plan.
Anything else?
Nope.
Ordinance?
So, sidewalk, I guess this book says the owner is responsible for the sidewalk.
That's been overruled by court case.
And-
Talk about, that should be changed.
Yeah, and we also had that if one is removed, it has to be replaced. I don't want that anymore. There are some that need to go and not come back.
The ordinance should be changed, but you can always vote that you do not want to replace it. You've done that through.
Okay, yeah, because I know some people have taken their sidewalks out and we all voted and said, fine, you don't have to put one back in.
And that's always the board's.
Okay, so we can just do that on an individual basis?
You can, or you can change the
Change the
rules,
ordinance.
somehow keep track.
Because there are some that are extremely dangerous, and if we replace them, it's just gonna happen again
And I think it's best if you do it on an approval basis each time the board's got control.
each time. Okay. Well, I'd like to bring up the one that's on Bluff in the 500 block, that we cleaned up the area and it exposed a horrific sidewalk that's dangerous. So we need to tear it out and just put dirt and seed.
Okay, we'll put that on next month's agenda.
Well, it's on here.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I guess not, to not.
It's the ordinance.
Okay.
We're not doing the ordinance.
Okay.
So can you put that on there then, Jessica? Do you need the exact address? Or
That,
can
I think you should. You certainly have a motion, should, but yeah, the agenda should.
I'll call you with the address. And then I had, we approved the per diem for Nick's class, but we didn't approve the price. So I think it just needs to be the price of the class. We never mentioned it. Right. So I think we should, obviously, we're going to vote yes because he already went, but.
Yeah, yeah, we can do a motion for
Okay. I don't know how much it was.
that. You should have, we passed an ordinance where they submit a request. So there should be a form that we approve, where they're going to go somewhere, they submit a request, what they need, gas money, hotel money. That should be filled out.
I tried saying that there's a form, and we've always filled it out, but it seems to have disappeared.
Yeah, I've got it if you need it.
Well, we need it.
Okay.
How much was it?
I think it was 950, but I can't seem to find it at this moment.
Remember how much it was? So we shouldn't have to put the per diem in there because we already approved
Right,
that.
just do not to exceed 1,000. I'm pretty sure it was 950, but I can't find it. Okay. I know it was not over that.
Have a motion by Leahy to pay for Nick's class for wastewater not to exceed 1,000. Do I have a second?
Jones. Button.
Yes.
Leahy.
Yes.
Mendoza.
Yes.
Dave Goff?
Me?
Yep.
I just wanted to voice my opinion. I heard rumors that they was gonna hire county for our police protection. And then they provide police protection about 20 hours a week and $67 an hour. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, my taxes already go to county for police protection. So why pay them more? And we don't see them anyway. And we already got a police station here. We already got a squad car, maybe even two, I don't know. So I strongly urge, hire a police officer for Albany, whoever that may be, I don't know.
You sit right there.
Oh, yeah?
That's the plan, Dave.
Well, in my opinion, we need our own personal police officer.
Yep, we agree. Thank with you.
I don't know if I'd be able to talk at some point during the meeting, but I'm more than happy to tell you all about it.
Right? But that's all I really had, I wanted to talk about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. No.
Angie Ryder?
Get up and tell them.
I was basically going to talk about wanting the police for Albany also. And just to bring up just a couple little things about that. Like Dave said, we have the police station, we have everything. We spent thousands and thousands of dollars on that. And like a month ago or so, some kid came to my house about 8:30 at night wanting to sell something. And I said to him, have you been to the village and do you have your permit from the village to do so? He didn't know what I was talking about. Now, that's something that a police officer here in our building would take care of. He would check out that person, he'd run their ID. I know when Wyatt worked here, he did that one time to somebody and he found somebody with a felony and he ended up bringing them to Whiteside. So we don't want people in our homes that we don't know. So that's another plus for having our own police officer. And for our children to get to know the police officer and be comfortable to talk to them. And a lot of times in a tiny town like this is a good place for people who want to sell drugs to come into when they know you don't have any police. And that's a big deterrent for having your own policeman, just to deter that type of situation also. Basically, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Randy Becker?
Hey.
Go ahead, sir.
I was here the meeting before last and brought up the dog grooming business on 10th Avenue South, being operated out of a home. And I was wondering what your status is on how you're going to handle that. We're not. That's not what I found out.
Well, that's my position, so about that. Supervise
www.codepublishing.com, chapter 9.58.050.
It's not a local ordinance.
It's Illinois zoning laws.
That's not the zoning laws. That's a publishing company.
This is home occupation permits. And you basically tried to tell Aaron that last time it was fine, basically, and kind of like I was out of my mind for challenging this. This is a dog grooming operation. It isn't people giving haircuts. These are dogs. It's a sanitary issue. It's a liability issue. It's a noise and dust issue on this private road where I own this lot. So I want to know what you guys' status is, your timeline on handling this. If you're going to let this go, or if you're going to talk to them, and what your plan is. If
We'll put it out when we think it's perfectly fine.
Okay. Then that's all I have to say, and somebody else will be talking to you guys next year.
Well, like,
Through the
we have
courts.
to go by the advice of our attorney, so that's where we stand.
That's fine with me. What I found out, dog grooming businesses for home occupations rate right up with adult stores, massage parlors, and right on down the line. So, well, that's what you got. Name any other business in this town that's next to somebody's house in a residential area.
Daycare.
And what's your own?
Daycare.
That's different than dogs. though.
Dings and
Why?
dings and things.
All right.
You can give one a bath to kids.
It's enough.
Thanks for your time. Didn't do much good, but thanks anyway.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
I'm still not gonna let this go, so you decide if you want this to cost you more. Aaron, are you gonna let me know any more about it, or is it?
I have to abandon the advice of the lawyer.
Okay.
And
That's too bad.
and there's a zoning board above me, I can't change anything up the approval.
Who's on the zoning board? Can I have the names? Can you write them all down?
One of them standing right back there. He's one of 4 on the zoning board.
What do you think of this dog grooming operation in the residential area?
Okay.
No, you can't be honest.
It's open. Open without proper zoning in Albany, Illinois. So that's what you got. The lady's talking about her trying to help the town out, get it better. That's how you guys are operating. Yeah.
Good night.
How do you get out of Lloyd?
Boston?
Thank you, Jack. Just briefly, I'm just gonna mirror kind of what Dave said and Angie said. I too am hopeful for our own police chief. It looks like that might happen. Appreciate everybody's hard work in making that happen. It's been a while. I look forward to having a chief here. That's all I have today. Thank
All
you.
right, thanks, Floyd. Susan Griffith?
So, I just wanted to encourage everyone, I know I sent out a newsletter when I worked here with every board member's email address, and it's just that easy to communicate with them. I have contacted everyone sitting at this table, except for Jessica, to discuss my concerns, right, about this town, about the police department, about things that were happening. And I never had one bad conversation, not with any of you, whether we agreed or not, you know, because sometimes we didn't. I never had a bad conversation. So I want to emphasize to everybody that we can talk to each other like adults. We can have decent conversations, whether we're on opposite sides of the issue or not. We can have decent conversations. And the only way that we're going to move forward is to continue to have those decent conversations. We can agree to disagree, but I didn't call anybody names on here. I didn't get upset with you because you disagreed with me or anything. There's no need for that. Case in point, the gentleman that was just here. He can voice his concern without, you know, crossing that line. He doesn't even live here, so I'm not understanding fully his concern, but okay. But you can still come to this meeting and voice the concern. I want the residents to understand that this should be a safe space for anyone to voice their concerns. Anyone, whatever your concern is.
I agree.
Because you board members, you are the only ones that are gonna make the decision to change anything. So if I come at you, you're a lot less likely to listen to me and solve my problem for me, right? So I just want you guys to know, I know it's hard to sit in your seats. I've talked to each and every single one of you on the phone, and I gave the entire town your email addresses. So I hope you welcome their conversations if they contact you, I hope they do. I hope they care enough about this town to contact you guys and let you know, hey, if you go to make this decision, I want you to know that I back this point of view, you know, because maybe that'll help you guys, you know. That's all I wanted to say. Oh, and I'm glad we got it all, please.
Thanks, Susie.
Brian, welcome.
And thanks. And what everybody else said about the police chief, I think we're pretty happy, and hopefully it happens, and we appreciate the hard work everybody's doing to try to make it happen. When you look at the agenda, when it comes to visitors, new business and old business, is that documented anywhere? Is it documented what each person said, and now can I go back and access that information?
You are free to request to come in and listen to the audio, yes.
But it's not on paper nowhere?
No, because meeting minutes are what is done, not what is said.
Okay, so when it comes
So is there an unfinished business maybe?
Yeah, so when you come to this meeting, you say old business, and we want to talk about what happened last month, how does somebody see that if they're not here?
Because what is done, if it pertains to something like MSA, that's in there. And if it pertains to the village itself, but visitors, it doesn't, it's not what, my training says that I put what is said, what is done, not what is said.
Okay. Thanks.
But you're free, anybody's free to come and listen to the audios.
And to that point, if I may add, we can ask a trustee to put something on the agenda. So if we have old business, we can ask the trustee to put something on the agenda.
Get up,
Jack, may I ask you for 3 minutes?
Yeah.
The procedure says I can ask you for 3 minutes.
Well, then you're gonna have to do that for everybody. So you have signage, so you're gonna follow that, or you know, people come in and
you ever talk to her?
Is it Jackson Prime?
Brenda?
Yes. How do you do, all of you? I come back here about twice or 3 times, well, actually about 3 months now, a year. And my family's from Whiteside County. My grandfather had coffee. It was at the end, 901, he did it one time many years ago. And my uncle was Paul Coffee, my other uncle was Jim Coffee. And so I come back and purchased my Uncle Paul's Coffee's home at 807 South Main. Enjoy it, my husband and I enjoy it very, very much, and we have several relatives in the area. But my concern is, I'm so elated that we have a police officer, but we do need to watch the miles per hour in these zones. I can't begin to tell you how concerned I am about my neighbors. I don't usually get riled up, but I do notice there's a family of 6, and they're on the other side of 901 South Main. And this is too much for these semis, for these trucks. I mean, I wish we had some way of clocking them, so you would know when they gear up. I mean, they go right through the town. I hear it 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure all of you, when you're shaking your heads, you agree with me. This is a safety concern, and it could be a health concern because of all the fumes.
Brenda, I'm a truck driver by profession, and I agree with you. The trucks come through this town way too fast. And they're more definitely speeding, and it's one of the first things I was gonna speak to him about.
Thank you. I'm breaking tears.
Yes.
I am so elated you were here. Because I fear for the people that are even elderly that are trying to get out of their driveways. My cousin Jim Anglesey is trying to egress out of his driveway, and he can't safely. He's so afraid. He is so afraid. We are afraid, and we can't live like that. We're not living in fear. Thank you so much.
I thank you. I agree with you.
Linda Swanson?
I'm just curious how many people in the past month got a nuisance slip for their property?
Last month?
In the past 30 days?
Probably about 4 or 5 of them.
Because I went through town yesterday and I quit counting at 50.
Yep.
I quit counting at 15 homes that had what appeared to be crap spread out everywhere. I received a nuisance slip. I'm 100 yards off of the street. I live in a mobile home park. It's private property. I also would like to request a sign, no ATVs. A lot of us up there are getting tired of the parade of ATVs coming through there whenever, all the time, and it's ridiculous. It needs to stop. It's private property. It would be like me coming and driving around in your house, in your driveway, and your yard. No different.
No, it's not.
The reason I got a nuisance slip is because I have a trailer with scrap on it, which I collect. 95% of it has come from this town. So what I am doing is cleaning up the town, and in the process, I am stimulating my income, trying to get by. I don't know where else to put it, but you can't see it from the street. And that is, I believe, the wording in the nuisance ordinance, X amount of feet from the street, something to that effect. 100 yards. I know where I live. I can't see it from the street, so I don't know how anybody else did without trespassing. This isn't it, I didn't bring it with me, I forgot it. So whoever did that was trespassing at the time. So it's good to have an officer gonna be in town so that, per statutes in Illinois, my driveway is private property. We all have the same address with different lot numbers, but we all start our address with 40371. Thereby making that address, the city does not maintain it, they never have. They don't plow it, they don't salt it, they don't repair it, they don't do nothing. I'm speaking on behalf of the manager, and depending on the outcome, this may not be over.
But can I just say something? I think maybe, since it is private property, maybe the owners need to be the ones that put up the signs. You know what I mean? Because that would be like,
Well, you want to pay for a sign for the guy down the street?
No,
That's private
I
property.
didn't say I wanted to pay for it, he wants to put a sign up. Yeah, he asked me if he could put a sign up, he doesn't want us to put it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
but I don't know, I mean, you could ask them too. Because like I said, I don't know if we can legally put something up on private property.
No.
Well, not unless it's approved by the owner of the mobile home park. They'd have to approve it.
So maybe they could get, I mean, you can get signs almost.
There's an old agreement between when we originally purchased.
Well, we shouldn't take it as scrap.
Yeah, because we've been before that.
For the police to patrol.
Well, it's certain rules as to who doesn't want it. And that'd be a big issue to be elected department for a while. I doubt if that's addressed, that we can go put signs up, so they have to approve it. It's a problem.
So you're saying we can?
You can't without their approval.
Without it, okay.
The owner.
Anyone else that came in late? Dave, go
On
ahead.
on that trailer park note there, you actually own about 25 feet of that before you make the curve, is still your street right of way. So you could put a sign at the beginning of that part in your right of way notifying that it's private property or dead end.
Anybody else? Thank you all for speaking.
Susie, do you have something?
Well, I'm just saying, why are we ticketing a scrapper when I worked here, if somebody wanted to get rid of something, I had a list of names of people that I would give them scrappers so that their crap, to use your term, could be picked up. So, we can't be ticketing a scrapper for picking up scrap when that's what we did. I'm serious. I gave out names of scrappers.
I had no idea it was even, it was the issue.
I think we need to review that.
Yeah, I didn't know about it until tonight.
I'll get you a copy of that, Aaron.
Okay.
New business?
I don't know if it's new or old business, but I remember, was it last week? Joe Carroll was here with a lot of equipment on church by Joyce's house.
Yeah.
And they put in a new pole, but that line is still as low as it ever was. I mean, you're gonna have to either put a sign up for nothing X amount high, and I realized the house.
Tight, and both, it's still.
Correct. Well, I mean, there's no bow in it, but it's still, if you're on this side, you're gonna, if you have a semi. And it's like, I get it, because the peak on that house where it went to, it's already to the top. So they should have run the line from some other way. So we paid all that money
for a new pole, and they put it
How's it going?
exactly.
How you doing there?
I have two things. I've noticed that, or I guess I've not noticed, Janet being here, training Jack, so I wondered what's going on with that. I mean, she done the training?
But I haven't seen anything about it.
Okay,
Last I knew she was going on vacation. And I don't know where.
Like I said, it's been weeks since I've seen any activity, and I didn't know if she was done or.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. And the other thing we need to talk about is the treasurer's position. In the past, the treasurer was always the FOIA officer, a notary, the IMRF person, the IML person, the OSHA person. So I think those things, I don't know if she has a notary yet. That needs to be addressed, and I also think there's a class to take to be a FOIA officer. And these people that did this in the past never got paid any extra money, it was just part of their job. That was their job description. We actually had two previous ones sitting here now, so I think they can verify that I do know what I'm talking about. So like I said, I just, at some point, we've got to get Jackie on the right path moving forward to get this stuff taken care of. Thank you.
Well, I had one thing for you business I forgot to add. I had somebody contact me and ask me about rezoning lots in town. Do you know how that works?
Yeah, if file a petition goes to the zoning part of it first.
Okay. But you could potentially have a residential zone.
You can't
rezone.
go through the specific process that's stated in your code and the state law.
Okay.
It's possible. It's not guaranteed.
Okay.
It has to be approved.
And then for old business, I don't remember, there was something that came up a while back with the previous administration on installing a auxiliary water source on property in city limits.
Oh, I talked to Mel.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have a ordinance.
There's not.
So
Okay.
therefore, the state law and county law applies.
Okay.
Although back in 2022, we talked about this, and Jerry Anderson was there, and I did, tomorrow I'll send you an email to Jack.
Okay.
With what I suggested back in 22.
Just gotta make sure they're not tapped into our water or anything like that, right?
Yeah, can't be for drinking water.
Right, just for irrigation. Yeah, okay, all right.
But you can limit that, restrict that as well.
Okay.
But if you don't have the rules, then they apply by the state and county rules.
Okay. And then old business, I have one more thing. I've had a couple other people approach me, I know we've talked about this a few times in here, but the yard waste bins for residents. I know we talked about it in here, and I know that the people at this table, the majority of us disagree with it, but why should we dictate whether they get yard waste cans or not? I thought maybe we should ask the residents in a survey and see if it would be worthwhile to get the cans rather than us making the decision that nobody needs
Well,
yard waste
first of all,
cans.
that's why we were elected to this position, is because they trusted us to make the decisions.
I agree, but the opinions at this table were that you burn your waste, that's you. That's
Yeah.
not, you know, maybe.
Honestly, I'd like to get rid of my trash altogether, because I don't need it. I have one bag a week,
Okay,
and once a month I put my recycle out, so realistically, I'd like to get rid of that whole $40 bill, but I can't. Ask the people who only live here. Thank you. You pay 12 months out of the year. I mean,
Would they
that's,
be willing to put a can out just for those that want it, or is it gonna have to be a whole town?
it will be the whole, that's why I'm bringing it up, it will be the whole town.
But it would raise your rate significantly,
But,
$5 per household. And it's only for certain months, like May through September.
Right.
Yes, I'd like to say something. Why don't you guys ask to bring bags and they can come down here and pay for the bags? I know Rapid City does it.
Yeah, that was my next step, is if we can't do the cans,
Yeah.
can we at least get it into something?
They come down here, they pay for the bags, and that's what they use for their yard waste.
Not everybody burns their stuff. And
Right.
In me personally, I didn't agree with you guys, because I do get rid of a lot of yard waste, and I have to take mine to the dump in Clinton, because there's nowhere to put it. So I figured if we couldn't get cans, then could we at least try to get refuse bags like that, where they can get picked up?
And I don't think Republic will do that.
No?
Who's your supplier? You?
Republic.
Republic, well, we just had this whole discussion. They voted to decide to do it, but the representative says he can't send a truck up for 4 bags.
Right.
Just doesn't pay.
Right.
So he's gotta be guaranteed
Yep.
something before he's gonna send a truck up.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Motion by McCown to go into closed session to discuss police chief salary. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Boy, are you in trouble with that guy?
It almost seems like it makes more sense to make them do something, you know?